Shalom family. So latest news from Israel. It's all about the hostage deal that's currently going down and the surrounding tensions with that, and everyone holding their breath to see if there's going to be a ceasefire or not. Blinken urges Hamas to take extraordinarily generous ceasefire deal. I agree, they should grab onto it with both hands, because if it was me in charge, I wouldn't be making a deal like this. Israeli officials reportedly have given Hamas an ultimatum, saying the group has one last chance to reach the deal. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz said on Saturday, if there is a deal, we will suspend the operation, in reference to the Rafah ground offensive. He added, the release of the hostages is a deep priority for us. The prisoner hostage swap, which took place on 22 November, was stage 1, but right now it comes down to how many hostages are still alive. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken is in Saudi Arabia. He was there on Monday. His first stop in a broader Middle East tour focused primarily in Gaza, and he's pushing Saudi-Israel normalization. Blinken called on Hamas to accept Israel's latest and extraordinarily generous proposal for the Gaza truce. Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel, he said. The only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas. Has always been that. They have to decide, and they have to decide quickly, Blinken said from Riyadh. I'm hopeful that they will make the right decision. Israeli officials says we're expecting a response from Sinwar within 48 hours, now 24 hours. Israel has shown a willingness to make very large concessions regarding the return of Gazans to the northern strip. In case of another negative answer from Hamas, Israel will choose a phase and controlled action in order to deal with the remaining Hamas battalions in Rafah. The intense war in Gaza is nearing the end, and Israel is raising its eyes to the last front. Let me just tell you, regardless of what they decide, regardless if there's a ceasefire and a deal that goes through and everyone accepts it, Israel's not backing off on finishing the final push into Rafah. That is going to happen one way or another. Netanyahu has made that crystal clear in every conversation that he's had regarding this issue. Hamas official, no major issues with Israel's latest proposal. The Hamas official says a delegation from the organization arrived in Egypt on Monday to deliver the group's response. The atmosphere is positive unless there are new Israeli obstacles. The only obstacles here is not Israel, but Hamas. Netanyahu vows no ICC decision will determine Israel's basic right to self-defense against Hamas. The Hague is probing the Hamas October 7 attack against Israel, along with Israel's military operations against Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu vowed, however, on Friday that no ruling would impact their right to self-defense. Under my leadership, Israel will never accept any attempt by the International Criminal Court in The Hague to undermine basic right to defend ourselves. While decisions made by the court in The Hague will not reflect or affect Israel's actions, they will set a dangerous precedent that threatens soldiers and public figures, Netanyahu said. Basically just constantly painting Israel in a worse and worse light on the world stage, which is the aim of the game here between them and the United Nations. France is pushing efforts in Lebanon to prevent war between Hezbollah and Israel. France's foreign minister said on Sunday last week that there had been progress in discussions with senior officials in Lebanon aimed at easing tension between Hezbollah and Israel and preventing a war breaking out. Hezbollah obviously is holding out and saying they're not making any final decisions on stopping or backing off until the entire Gaza situation is resolved. So regarding on what happens in Gaza, we'll see what happens with Hezbollah. But Hezbollah also knows if she pushes too hard, Israel's going to hammer really hard to the north. And I mean, who's she going to rely on? Iran, that missed with 99% of their missiles. So there's that to think about. They keep forgetting that it's not the Iron Dome that's doing all the protecting. It's God Almighty that's true to His word and His promises to infinity. He does not change. So keep biting, keep attacking. Go and read the Bible and see what happens to every nation that comes to stand against Israel. There's a special promise to all those nations, and it's not the good kind. Pray for Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and pray for all the innocents caught up on all sides. Shalom.